here he is. I don't have his ton in, but I will do the ton like separately and glue it in. In fact, it's right here. Of course, got the little rider here. All right, so to start, I'm gonna base coat the skin. But what I'm gonna do is kind of gonna be like reddish orange in the face and kind of around the jawline and the mouth. And then like the top of the legs, the thighs. And then I'll go to more of a blue. And like the underbelly and the feet, the bottom of the feet, or the soles, will be a whitish gray. So to start, I'm gonna use cinnamon red from Reaper for the reddish bits. Of course, this will probably take more than one coat, but that's fine. Get around that eye. Don't want to actually touch the eyeball. I'm not too concerned about these little like warts, I guess they are, getting covered, because I'll just go back over those later. Got a little cat hair in the paintbrush. Come on, get in there. There we go. Again, I don't want to actually touch the eyeball with the red paint. But there we go. Also love that like the little goblin that's riding him is just grabbing its flesh to hold on rather than actually like saddling him or something. Alright, that should probably dry before it gets another coat. Alright, so we're kind of... The blue... There you go. We'll start coming in around here. All of this jaw along this line will be red, and then you can see where the underbelly starts. That'll be like the whitish gray. You know, I may as well not worry about actually hitting the teeth right here because still have to base coat them as well. I can easily do the teeth without hitting the flesh. How much of this chin? Let's just go right there. That's fine. Let's make sure we get the bottom of this jaw line. I think we can do the red to about here and then around the jaw. And of course, again, the blue will be coming in here. All right. Stop working that for a second. It's kind of ruining it. And obviously the rider will be covering most of that up. Let's work on the top of the thighs and then go back to the second coat. Like it'll basically just be that. And then we'll have the blue flesh going through. All right. Get a second coat on there, and then we can start working on the blue. Ooh, that came really close to the eye. I just don't want excuse me, cover the eye, because going back over it with a white light color is, I don't know, annoying. It's covered in red. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter. I can probably go over it and it would be okay. Get all this. Oh, forgot about the thighs. This could use a little more. Of course, it doesn't need to be like 100% covered because it's just the base coat. Things that won't be covered, you know, I'll still hit them with other colors and it'll be fine. Well, actually, what I'm gonna do, instead of like trying to wet blend or anything, where the red meets the blue, I'm just gonna put a purple line and then we can kind of blend through there. Like just a nice straight purple line. And then when it comes time for midtones and highlights and stuff, I can kind of blend in through the purple. And it'll get us a nice transition from the red to blue. Back here, it doesn't mean as much because, again, it's being covered by the rider. So, whatever. think that's... Let's see real quick. Okay, so that is like a little shadow area. I'll do this whole thing purple. I'll probably end up shading this little section right here with some burgundy wine. Oh, and this purple that I'm using is Purple Shadow from Vallejo and Nocturna from their Malefic Flesh set. Alright. Now I'm going to use some navy blue from Scale 75. We're just going right along that purple line. And you can just blend that in later. Alright, I'm going to do the toes kind of a pinkish purple, so I'm just going to leave that. Like, I'm not going to go all the way down. I have another color I'm going to put on there in a bit. I'm going to try and get this without... The inside of this leg is a little difficult. I know you couldn't see that very well, but a little hard to get. Thanks for the follow, Bickham. Bickham3. Great, thank you. How's it going today? Good, how's life for you? It's going. Okay. What's up, Earhawks? Earhawks minis? You guys having a good Friday? Oh, got some red. Brush, I didn't mean to. I went too far on these toes, but that's okay. Sure you guys can't see this at all. And I can barely see it. But needs to be painted. You can't just leave it bare primer. The wee hours for you is Saturday. Are you in Australia? New Zealand? Somewhere around there? I'm doing good. I have a weird Warhammer story. Hmm. Do I have a weird I don't think I do. Do you have a weird Warhammer story? Oh, you're in Taiwan. Oh, that's cool. Well, if you have a weird Warhammer story, share it. How weird was it? Or is it? Alright, I think we'll go to about here with the blue. And then the underbelly will start right there. Alright, this navy blue from scale 75 covers pretty well. I don't think I really need a second coat in most places. You once found a 10,000 point Skaven army in the dumpster? 10,000 points of Skaven? That probably filled the entire dumpster. And who would throw that away? Alright, for the underbelly, I'm going to use Nakar from scale 75. And then lots of shading because this is clearly not going to get a lot of light. I was in a oh, so it's all like, well, were they completed or is it like just boxes of sprues? 10,000 points of Skaven seems like a lot because they're a horde army, right? You'd have lots of little rat men everywhere. So that seems like a lot of money. So that was a very lucky find for you. This will definitely need another coat. Maybe I shouldn't have went straight in the car. Maybe I should have Put on some like purple or something first. Got near the big Warhammer store and a big dumpster. I got to restore it. Am I doing something for 50 followers? Maybe. I know once I reach like affiliate, I was gonna start doing giveaways. Or I was gonna give away the things that I paint on stream. Like the first thing I was gonna give away was the Starblood Stalkers set that I painted on stream. This is the leader, Kixie Taka. But I got all of them done. It's the funniest thing I know. That's a hard question to put on the spot with. I mean, I know a lot of Bob's Burgers quotes. Does that count? I think I'm gonna make up a quick black wash for this. The soles and the underbelly. Let's see here. Just want to darken this a bit. You know, I'm gonna put a little purple in there too. That'll be. Let that dry. I'll worry about the underbelly and soles later. Ah. Bone died. Well, thanks for following again. Alright, I guess I'll worry about this underbelly and soles in a bit. So I'm gonna start working on the red part. Actually, alright. We still got a few more things to base coat, I guess. We'll get some Indian Shadow from scale 75, and this will be like the inner mouth, like tissue like that, and the gums And I guess I can base coat the ton in this as well. You couldn't hear the funniest thing I know. I don't really know what the funniest thing I know would be. Like I said, I know a lot of Bob's Burgers quotes. I've never really been a joke teller. Like I can do quips in the moment, but I don't know. All right, how am I gonna get? Let's just. I know you can't see this, but just want to get the gums up here behind the teeth. There we go. All right, the tongue, once it's in there, covers a lot of this. So it doesn't really need a lot of highlighting or shadow beyond the base coat here. An animal or a person? Um, hmm. I mean, a duck-billed platypus is pretty funny. I mean, a comedian I liked a long time ago. I haven't really heard anything new in the last like 10 years or so, but I also really haven't seeked anything out. Was Dan Cummings. He was hilarious. He had this great bit on ants. Like what the ant would be thinking if he like captured one and just put it into a Tupperware thing of sugar and let it roam around for a few hours, then take it out and let it go back home. Use the same color for the base coat of the ton, but I'm gonna end up doing this ton in a very like bright pink. And this color, Indian Shadow, very excellent color for like soft tissue. The inside of mouths, tongues, intestines on Nurgle stuff. Really nice. It's a good base coat for that. We will deal with the rest of this later. Make a Dan Cummings diorama for 50 followers. That would require me being a much better sculptor than I am. Alright. I want to use Kalahari Orange from Scale 75 to start working on the red parts of the flesh. Gotta give it a really good squeeze. Like I said, once I get affiliate, probably do giveaways every month. The first one will be the Starblood Stalkers box, fully painted. Make a TV and freehand them on the TV. That's true. You can do that. I think I want to do some highlights and shades at the same time to help these really stand out. So I'm going to get some burgundy wine from Reaper on the palette. Do I have it? There it is. And almost out of this. Very few drops left in it. But it is like the world's most perfect shade color. Alright, let's get in between these little teeth muscle ridges, whatever. All right. Back to the orange. Gonna try and blend this in now. And I can think about doing a Dan Cummings diorama. I'll have to figure out what everything, like, what all would go in there. Right along this shaded bit. Work that to a blend. It's starting to look okay. So the next color up from this would be Mars Orange. And then that will get just smaller and smaller pieces to get the highlights in there. I'll also put some bits of green in the orange flesh sections. Just little streaks here and there. Give it some life and character. Go back to the cinnamon red real quick. Actually, I'm going to mix some of the cinnamon red with the orange. See how that goes. A few of these transition pieces. Of course, we want to keep using this burgundy wine as the darkest shadow. I just kind of blend it in with the cinnamon red orange mixture. Bit of chin right here. It's not going to get a whole lot of light. Kind of do that. And that's it. I do not have a 3D printer. I've ordered 3D printed stuff on Etsy, but that's about it. Right in these lines here. This face has plenty of contrast going on. I don't want this bit to be too bright. All right, I'm actually gonna get out that Mars orange right now just to start working on some highlights here. So we can see what the final thing will look like. Of course, this won't be the absolute final highlight, but it's fairly close. Try to get these little eyelids here. Those little stubby pig nose. Not sure what color I should do the eyeballs. Be green. So they contrast a little more with the orange flesh. All right. Try to blend this highlight in a little. I feel like this model is going to need some saliva dripping from the mouth. Either that or gore. Get a little more Kalahari. All right, I'm gonna mix a little bit of the burgundy with the orange red mixture I made. That helps. By painting flesh of any color, just lots of little blending here and there. Constant battle to make it look good. Let's try to make a bright highlight here. Try to get right around these teeth ridges. Hit these nostrils with it as well. I also need to still glaze in some greens around the face. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna get some leaf green from Reaper. Get it nice and thin. I'm just putting some green glazes. Very lightly. Mostly in the shadow areas. Because the green is a contrasting color for orange and red. Back to the Mars orange. That's starting to look better now. We're still gotta do all these little simple things, oils, whatever. I guess so they fully stand out, you can do them like yellow. Okay. Haven't really done anything with this side yet. Really Start working on that. And a lot of that will be towards the ground, so it'll be in shadow. So I'm gonna get that mix we made of red, orange, and burgundy wine. Start shading some of this stuff. Our extra burgundy wine for these deep recesses. Blend that back in. Oh, Dave, the huge raid. Thanks so much, Dave. How's everyone doing today? Thanks for all the follows, guys. What were you painting today? Right now I got this squig going, the cave squig with the Loonboss. How's it going, everyone? I'm Fluid Art, Middly Miniature Painter. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, right now I'm working on the red part of its flesh, or red-orange. Thanks, guys, for all the follows. It means a lot. That was your stream, Dave. What was going on today? And everyone else, how are you all doing today on this Friday? Uh, well, they all seem to be giving me the follow, so I guess they're listening to you very well. You got a lot of celebrity followers and subscribe. Oh, did he get a big Henry Cavill subscribe? Silver gifted Hammer at the sub as well as many. Hey, maybe they'll all take notice and then they'll raid you with their 10,000 horny viewers. Still got this freaking cat hair stuck to my thumb. Alright. So what I was doing with this squig today, I just mostly base coated it and then started working on the orange flesh here. So I started with cinnamon red, a strip of purple just for an easy blend in between, and then navy blue. And then highlights of Kalahari orange and Mars orange from scale 75. And I'm just kind of slowly working it in. Pez claims not to know who the other subs are. Who is this Mia Khalifa person? She's an actress. Yeah, she's an actress. Yep. What's hilarious about her is that, you know, she wanted to distance herself from her former acting career, but kept her name. The name that if you Google it, all you see is her former acting work. Yeah, look up some of her stuff and play it on stream next time. I'm sure that'll go over very well. You won't get in trouble at all, especially as you're pushing for partner. That'll really seal the deal right there. The Twitch staff will be very happy about that. I mean, they'll get you recognized, that's for sure. Alright. Going on very rough with these highlights because we can just blend them back in. Embarrassing, I wasn't following this. Oh, thanks a lot, Dave. I saw you followed me on Twitter recently, and the only reason I know that is because I have very few Twitter followers, so it's very easy to see when someone follows you. The sauna school? Yeah, it is. This is a band from my hometown of Chicago called Angel Eyes. Very post-rocky. So I just finished this guy the other day. This was a generic Space Marine. I just wanted to paint a Space Marine with some green armor. And as I was painting him, I decided, you know, why not practice some black non-metallic metal? So that's what I did with the shoulder pads there. I tried with the gun. The gun I'm not happy with, but you know, it's whatever. Post rock and metal nut. Oh, that's good to hear. That's mostly what I play on this on my streams. I played a lot of black metal, and I feel like that might have driven away some viewers who weren't too fond of that. So I thought I'd go easy with some post rock and post metal. What's my heavy stuff? Uh, I mean, I like to play a lot of black metal and doom metal. Let's see. I didn't finish the base, but I painted this Doom Wolf the other week, actually about a month ago now, and I had a gigantic playlist of Doom metal to go with it. A lot of Death Doom and Funeral Doom. People may not have been the most appreciative of that. They didn't like, you know, depressing thoughts while painting miniatures, which I can understand. Messiah are calling the Doom Wolf. Yes, I just need to give him a cloak and a big fuzzy wig. Talk about our Lord and Savior, Lorna Shore. Yep. Good old Lorna Shore. Or early Lee Dorian. So Dave, I saw that you finished the Dreadnought from the Black Templar Dreadnought the other day. Thing was looking really nice. Black Templars were the one and only army I ever played in 40k. And then once they got their codex removed at the start of 6th edition, I kind of gave up on the game and haven't played since. Original Napalm Death vocalist, Cathedral. Ah, I had no idea he was in Napalm Death. I know him as the Cathedral. Established EM Painter Troop, he has spoken. I think I have. Oh, the only piece of Black Templar Marine army that I have left currently was this guy. I painted him. Ooh. 6 months into the hobby. But he was a conversion. I got these what's the name of that? Cyborg miniatures from Poland. I got the Black Templar shoulder pads going on. This was supposed to be my Emperor's Champion. I tried for like a black power sword thing. I mixed black paint with lead belcher. Try to get like a black metallic going on. All my other Black Templar stuff is at my dad's house. Drew so good they promoted him. Yeah, Templars were awesome. Also, I had a you see I put purple in the paint scheme. What I like to do was I didn't like the pure black and white look of like the regular soldiers, so I just made them like red trim, and then all the more important people got purple trim, just to kind of differentiate them and give a little more color to the army. I don't know if they've re-released a whole bunch of Black Templar stuff that's updated. I might get back into painting some of them. As you can see in my carousel of completed works there, I had that 75mm Black Templar model from Michael Contreras. I really wanted to sculpt a backpack to go with it to make it more Space Marine like, but I was not a good sculptor when I painted that. I'm still not, but I could probably add a backpack now if I really cared. A pretty metal little something. Yeah, the Black Templars really spoke to everyone's metalness. Probably them in Iron Hands. Or if you just went straight Chaos. Like, obviously, World Eaters are pretty metal because of Fantastic Song World Eater. Talking about Bolt Thrower earlier. People should talk about Bolt Thrower every single day. A big post guy, Dave. I like most of the posts. Post rock, post metal, post punk with Joy Division, post black metal with Kinda. It's all good. I don't have a Spotify playlist. I'm listening on this is all the music that I illegally downloaded. Don't let that get out. And I'm listening on Winamp. I shouldn't say it's all illegal. I paid for a lot of this stuff too. Once Bandcamp became a thing. I was definitely a Napster kid, so heard of the band Voices, like black metal and post punk mixed. I want to say yes. You ever heard of Moth Gatherer? That one, no. I have not heard of Moth Gatherer. The drummer from Acricock and his buds, really good stuff. Right. I feel like I've heard of Voices. Maybe it's just because it's kind of a, generic name. Maybe it was an album title from someone. Get some more of that cinnamon red in here. A little too thick. Thin it down some. There we go. Whoop. Sorry about that. My auto mod, let me see if I can. Yep. Right now I have it set to only Instagram, Twitter, Putty and Paint, and Cool Mini or Not links are allowed or whitelisted, but I think when you're no longer timed out, I can permit you to post a link. Yeah, I have the link most links turned off just for spam purposes, but if people want to show off their work, I put all those outlets on the whitelist. All right, let me see here. Click on your name. Permit. There we go. You can now post a link. There we go. All right, let's check this out. Whoa! A little too loud. Yeah, that was your fault. Grab some food. Well, thanks for the raid, man. Much appreciated. Enjoy your food. Yeah, I dig this. The newer stuff is more post-punk, but the song rips I had to. Yeah. I'll definitely check this out. This is from 2014. And I kind of lost touch with music the last like I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I'm really trying to get back into like there's so many of my favorite bands like release new stuff and I just didn't even know it anymore. And one of the reasons I became so busy with my old job that I just no longer had time to listen to anything. But thanks to streaming and my new job, I can listen to stuff. Try to keep up with new releases. And Thomas Lindbergh releases 3 albums in 3 weeks. Every once in a while, my buddy will text me like a YouTube link to a song from like a new album from someone. You know, they all like to put teaser songs onto YouTube now, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is really cool. I didn't know they had a new album out. I haven't heard them since this album." And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was 4 albums ago." Oh, that threw me for a loop. Quick drink of water. Like I used to post on a lot of music like message boards. back when music blogs were a big thing, and you could like download albums from the said blogs. And I was getting like 5 new albums a day, listening to all of them. Now I'm lucky if I get like 2 new albums a year. DC plus plus days, yep. All right. Mm. All right. The red orange flesh is nowhere near done, but I get bored kind of easily, so I'm gonna start working on the blue. And we'll come back to that because it stays on the wet palette very nicely. Grab the whole release schedule a week in one go. Yeah. And then you actually listen to them because you had the time. So uh last year I really tried to get better at keeping up with music, so I went to the metal subreddit and looked at their like top albums of the year list, and I tried to find and listen to all of them, and I think I got like 4 out of the 50. Oh, it used to be your job? Were you a music critic? Thank you, Modfly. There was a very, very brief period in like 2005. I was a music critic for a blog. Basically, I did it so I can get some free albums, and then I realized how much work it actually is, so I stopped. Like, I very much enjoyed listening to the music, but trying to write a cogent review was a little beyond me. Oh, which one? Oh man, I have no idea. I can't remember. It was so long ago. It probably doesn't even exist anymore. Like, it wasn't a big time. Uh, for real. It wasn't a big time blog or anything. Like, it wasn't truly professional. Yeah, I used to write for mags and e-zines. It's worse when you go pro. They give you stuff you don't even like, and you have to be professional. Yeah, I can. Because I was never the biggest like death metal fan, so if I was tasked to review a death metal album and I didn't like it, and everyone else loved it, I don't know how that would go. Oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to do the toes a different color. So I shouldn't be painting those. Man, I feel like I missed the heal here. Oh well. Like, I can't stand your power metal, so I can't be objective about it, but you have to deal with it. The worst is when they give you something mega hype, but you don't know it is, and like, you don't like it. Yeah. Everyone has it in like their album of the year discussions, and you don't know, and you hear it, and you're like, eh. I will say though, I know Dave has the same feeling as you just mentioned about power metal. I love power metal. I love the cheesiness of it. It's so good. I was briefly in a power metal band. And when I say briefly, I mean we wrote like one song over the course of a week, and then that was it. That was the end of our band. It was called the Horns of Gondor, and we were Lord of the Rings power metal band. I will say there's a lot of power metal out there that's just a little too cheesy for me. Like some of it's a little too much. Trying to get my stuff together to write some music again, but with this stuff, it's going hard. Yeah. What do you what do you play? Like what instrument? I was a bassist. Mainly guitarist, but amateur bass and drums and keys. Well, there you go. You can just be a one-man band. Guitarist playing bass style bassist. Yeah, I mean that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could be a prog metal bassist doing that. Let's get the old burgundy wine out here. Cool style is fun. Oh man, I love playing Justin Chancellor's bass lines. I can't do it anymore. I haven't picked up a bass in like 7 or 8 years. Uh, no, I haven't. I have not. A little more navy in there. This bottom bit. It's like two fuzz pedals and a crybaby duct tape together. uh, so I'm not gonna lie. If anyone has noticed what I'm doing here, I'm 100% copying the color scheme of Richard Gray. I really liked the way he did his version of this. So at least for the squig, I'm kind of mimicking it. I mean, if you're gonna copy someone, why not a multiple Slayer Sword winner, right? Hey, it's okay. Chat away. Most of the time, no one talks, if anyone's even in here. So, and maybe the more you talk, you'll encourage others to join in. Yeah, I love Richard's work. Eternal Night is beautiful. Thanks a lot. Do I know Lil Legend? Is that a paint studio? Or is that just a person? I feel like I followed them on Instagram. And I think the name is like Lil Legend Studio. It's a person with a paint. Oh, okay, yeah. There's a lot of people in the miniature world where I know their online name or whatever name they go by professionally. Sometimes knowing their actual names precludes me. Right. I just messed that up. Had some deep dives on Richard Gray pointillism. We're kind of obsessed. Uh, David Soper is really good at like the pointillism work. Another multi-time Slayer Sword winner. His stuff is really great too. Like his pointillism. He did the what is it called? The Abyssal Warlord from Scale 75. All in pointillism non-metallic metal. That was really cool. Ah, yes, Ben. I love Ben Comets. I kind of half told this story once in Dave's chat. Oh no, it wasn't Dave. Never mind. So you guys probably never heard the story. It was actually Trent Dennison's chat room. But one year at Crystal Brush, Ben, I have a Slayer sword for each room of my house. Comets, yeah. But I think this was 2017 at Crystal Brush. None of my pieces made the cut, and I was debating on whether I should go to the award ceremony or not. And I finally decided because I was debating because one of my friends left. He's the type of guy like he always talked to the judges, and he knew if he won, he would go to the award ceremony. If he didn't win, he wouldn't go. So he wasn't there. So I was like, should I really bother going? But I decided to go. And the way that it was set up that year, it was in a big room, and the first few rows were seats, and then after that, it was all a bunch of like tables with chairs around them. And everyone who was there in like a group, they all flocked right to those tables. So I just went up to the front, like I guess it was the second row, and I wanted to go all the way against the wall and just like sit by myself in a corner. And Ben was right in front of me, and I was like, "Hey, I'm by myself. I'm not gonna win. Can I sit there?" And he's like, "Sure, sure. Just make sure you save a seat for." I forget whose name it was, but it was another big time painter. I was surrounded by all of like the best European painters at this point. And the very first well, I guess the very first category was the Youngbloods. So they did that. The next one was the sponsored minis. And my name was the first name called, and I'm like, ah, fuck. And Ben just shoots me like the nastiest stink eye ever. All in fun though. I just convinced them, yeah, I'm not gonna win anything. Let me sit there. And then my name is called, and I have to force him out of his seat so I can get up and get an award. But that made him remember me because a few months later at World Model Expo, he saw me and he came up and said hi. I'm like, holy shit, you fucking remember me? And yeah, I love Trent Dennison. He's a fantastic painter. He's ridiculous. I could only watch one of his streams because he's from in Australia, and his Sunday morning stream is like my Saturday evening stream because time zones. But watching him, like, he'll take a bust, paint it for like 3 hours, and it's a fucking masterpiece. He paints crazy fast for such a high standard. I accidentally got a Golden Demon finalist once. How do you accidentally get a finalist? Did you just accidentally paint something really good, or did someone like drop out? The shadow right here is a little too pronounced. entered for fun and they liked it. I mean, that's a testament to your painting skill then. I was okay back then. I'm trying to do a lot of new things and practice things for my first Golden Demon this year. That's what this guy was for. Because this was like an 8-hour job. And the piece I want to paint for Golden Demon is going to be much longer. So I'm going to spend a lot more time on like making sure everything is blended properly and, you know, it all looks as good as it possibly can. This Jonas Renskin? Yeah, it is. This is a German band. I think they have 4 albums now. Again, I kind of lost touch for a little bit. But every album, they have one song with vocals and they get a guest singer. And speaking of Jonas Renskin, I haven't listened to October Tide in a long time. I really like them. Reckon I'll do Gold Demon with the standard work. I mean, I hope. I hope I just get finalist. If all of my pieces get like a finalist pin, I'll be extremely happy. I know there are a lot of fantastic American painters that have won Golden Demons before that can't have, you know, have been working on stuff for 2 years because COVID stopped them from entering in, what was it going to be, 2020? And I know there's a whole heap of Europeans coming back to Adepticon. So this, and they've also been working on stuff for 2 years. So the standard of work this upcoming Golden Demon will be insane. So if I just get some finalist pins, I'll be happy. Yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to paint most of that time because I don't know if you kind of see a scar right there. I got bit in the hand by a dog, and it gave me nerve damage for a full year, and I couldn't paint at all. But I spent a lot of that time reading and watching tutorials, so hopefully it helps. Bit of primer was just really bugging me. Nerve damage from a hobby knife slip for, ooh, yeah. You can see this is one of the things I've been working on. So far, I spent like 5 hours just on the belly alone, trying to get everything looking nice. And I gotta make some transitions coming from the dark green into the purple here, but this is one of my pieces, and it's gonna have a lot of water effects on it. I'm trying to do a rain effect that I learned from, it was a YouTube video. This French woman, a historical painter who paints, she paints very well, but she also does this rain effect that's insane. And I'd never seen it in like fantasy or sci-fi miniatures, only historical stuff, so I thought I'd bring that over and see how that goes. If I don't get noticed for my painting, at least I'll get noticed for my basing. The tank streaking style. Yeah, trying to think of it. I don't have a picture on like this computer. There's a picture on Facebook that I saved as like a reference, but I think it was on my old computer. She did like, it was like a Napoleonic war scene with a bunch of like French soldiers walking with horses and stuff, and you can see raindrops coming, like dripping off of all the leather straps, dripping off of like hats and stuff, and dripping into the ground, and then like popping back up with raindrops, and it looks so incredible. I was gonna try and mimic that. Let me get the burgundy wine back in here. Mix that with a little bit of navy blue. A Mountain Knight and a paint palette, half done impressionist, half realism. Who did this? Oh, Matt DiPietro? Man, I love his work. Was this a recent piece or an old piece? Yeah, I've talked with him a few times at Adepticon. He's an incredible painter. Oh, it's new? Then I probably have not seen it yet. Remember, his first year at Adepticon was his last year as a Privateer Press painter. So all of his entries were War Machine stuff. He was the only person that entered anything with War Machine. So I was like, who the hell? Who's this guy? Like, oh, he's the studio painter. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. And then the next year, when he was no longer the painter, Dallas Kemp was the painter, and he was there, and he's the only guy that entered War Machine stuff. Uh, well, I can permit you again, and you can just post that Facebook link. Let's see. Uh, you know, let me move this over here. And see if I can put this on stream. There we go. Now, will it change with the, Oh, it didn't. It didn't move with it. Oh, well. Alright, I'm not the most well-versed with this whole, streaming thing. But yeah, this looks really awesome. Yeah, I love all the colors that he used. That's really cool. He's always been really good with his use of color. I remember one year he did a bust of like a sci-fi dude, and he converted it with the fisherman bust with the giant fish. So he like put the fish on his back. He had to do a lot of sculpting to get it to fit right, but like the color of the scales that he did was incredible. Like someone said, but it's mini painting art, and he was like, "Hold my damn beer." Yeah. I wonder if he has a fine art background. You can just translate some of those skills into miniature painting. Kind of like James Wapple. Brother is a fine artist. I don't use Facebook very often, but when I do, it's mostly to check out mini painters, so I should follow his page. Really just kind of log on to Facebook, see what was posted in Heavy or Metal, see what was posted in Bust At, and that's it. Threw in on I actually made one photo of a mini I painted, threw in a pair of practice and took a pic for me. That's cool. So a few years ago, he came to Chicago for the MMSI show, the Military Modeling Society of Illinois, and that was like the 1 year I missed. So I didn't get a chance to see more of his work even closer because all I've seen is, in cases at shows, but at this show, you just plop your stuff down on a table and anyone can put their face right up into it, get a good view of like how their brushstrokes are placed and everything. That's one of my favorite things about shows like that is you can get so close to a miniature and you can see how someone painted the thing, and I feel like that's, for me, it helps me paint better more so than watching a video tutorial or reading about it, because the camera and the lights, they do different things than what you can see in the naked eye. I used to be ashamed of Games Day UK because the hall lighting was so bad you couldn't appreciate. Yeah, that's the thing. If they don't have great lighting, it gets a little difficult to see things. Alright, most of this back is covered by the rider, so I don't really need to worry too much about it. Alright, I was off camera, I didn't realize that. You remember Joe Tomazowiski's Ironius Calgar? At the event, it looked like nothing. Then we saw lighted pics, and it was like, Jesus. I mean, honestly, I've probably seen that. I just don't remember the name. What year was it? Yeah, sure. 1 second. UK 2008. Oh, well, if it's a cool mini or not, like he could have just posted that itself. Let's see. This is really nice. And he was doing the non-metallic metal style armor back then. I feel like I didn't see it back in 2008. Was he one of the pioneers of this Space Marine armor style? Like, I didn't really see someone do that with the armor until I saw Nicholas Gareth do it. Or is it Gareth Nicholas? I can't remember. I mean, they actually let him do non-metallic metal for box art. The was it the Sanguiner? That's the all golden armor, right? Oh, I didn't know they ever acknowledged that non-metallic metal existed on the heavy metal team. Or heavy metal. I mean, obviously they all know and can do it, but I feel like GW wanted everyone to make the paint job seem a little bit more approachable to the common painter. Of course, I could just be talking on my ass here since I know absolutely nothing about the ins and outs of the heavy metal workplace. Mix some of this up in here. Controversial at the time. Let's see how this rider fits. How much do you actually see? All right. You can basically see around here. Here. Let that dry and then work on some blending. Still the same one. I feel a lot of models need to be updated. I mean, I do remember that model, and it was really cool. I don't know. I feel like they should update some stuff. But I'm sure if they updated some Blood Angel stuff, you'd get plenty of people complaining that their Xenos army is not being updated as well. Which I get. But I mean, Space Marines make them the money. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get Helbrecht. He looks really cool. I don't know if I wasn't too sold on the Grimaldus. The original Land Raider took 5 years to earn its matching cost back. Was the original Land Raider metal? Like, was it expensive to produce or something? Oh, jeez. Hundreds of thousands? That sounds insane. Precision machine from aluminum billets. Look how many massive things they release now. Yeah. Excuse me. Have they updated any vehicles since they made Primaris Marines? I honestly really haven't kept up with a lot of 40k releases. I kind of mostly do Age of Sigmar stuff because they just have a lot of really fun, creative looking things. The tech is good. The newest old Marine tanks are the Stalker and the other anti-air one. The grab. Oh, I think I remember those. They're meant to look like they're floating in the air, right? Like hovering a little bit. Kind of like a land speeder. Right. Let's see. All right, that's good for the top bit. Newest Rhino chassis stuff is Sisters. Are they still giving sisters like the super crazy rhinos with tons of like cathedral like stuff all over it? I always thought those were pretty cool. Also seemed very easy to convert those into chaos. Great for Templars. Oh yeah, yeah. Should definitely look into that then. Make a new Templar vehicle. I feel like the toe it goes right there. Work on right here. This little bit. This mega cognitive dissonance thing between Firstborn and Primaris, though, I hated the way they wrote them to the beach. You know, I love the Primaris models. I'm gonna admit I really didn't look into the lore too much, like when they came out about the difference between them and Firstborn and all that. Because honestly, I figured what they were gonna do, they'd keep that lore around for a few years and then just retcon it so Primaris are just regular Marines like they always were supposed to be, given their size compared to other models in the range. But it's not above them to completely change their canon. Yeah, they just said, hey, we're releasing bigger Marines, here you go. People still would have bought them. So I remember so many conversion tutorials for the old Marines of like how to make them true to scale with the lore. And of course, they're all just basically the same size as Primaris, so they should have just went, you know. Here we go, true scale Marines. Old Marines still work, just fit them into your army. Running out of ways to monetize old Marines, yeah. Have they done anything with Chaos? Like, do they have Primaris sized Marines? They scale creep the Chaos? No. I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, they released like the first new release of Blood Angels. Those models were just slightly bigger than the old Marines. Do I have one here? I don't remember. I had the chaplain with the cloak and not the was he a chaplain? I don't know. He's holding the chalice and he's got like the big cloak around his whole body. And those were slightly bigger. So I thought that's what they were gonna do. They were gonna slowly just increase the Marine size every release until they got to like Primaris size, but then they just went and made Primaris Marines. Yeah, the Sanguinary Priest. Because they just kind of slowly started making them a little bit bigger. I remember it was a big deal on Reddit at the time because they're like, look at the size between this marine and this marine. They're getting bigger. I thought that was what they were gonna do, and it was gonna take like 5 years or so to just kind of phase them in slowly. I guess right now what I really want is Primaris Terminator. I love the Terminator minis. Was a hero seen up for a long time though, so I probably qualify as a bitter old man. I don't know, I like the look of a lot of Chaos models, but some look like they're just a little too busy for me. Like, I love Night Lords and Thousand Suns. I thought those were really cool. I love the Egyptian aesthetic that the Thousand Suns had. But I guess it'd be like the Chaos Undivided models that just had a shit ton of like skulls and horns and everything sticking out all over the place. They was saying there's some concept art for that. I was happy when the Catapracti came out. Oh yeah, those things were cool. So there's concept art for Primaris Terminators. That would be awesome. I had a shit ton of Terminators in my Black Templar army. I loved running them. I don't care if they didn't do too well in the battlefield. I just loved them. Got some nice Power Fist Terminators going in there. Also bought a box of Grey Knight Terminators and converted those into Black Templars. The whole Deathwing. I mean, that's pretty cool. Was he ever able to field it all at once? I assume he'd have to be in like an Apocalypse game for that. Or I don't know, I can't remember costs. Maybe like a 4,000 point game or something. Ah, yeah. The whole death deep striking in. Uh Except he fails all his deep striking rolls and they all die. One Ravenwing unit drives up to a Titan and then he dropped the whole lot on the horse. That's nice. I never played an Apocalypse game. My local store just had a big Apocalypse game. The post got pretty popular on Reddit. It looked really fun. Either it was awesome or it got bogged down and boring. Yeah, I can see that with that many things out there. I know one year at Adepticon, a bunch of people just had a massive Titan game. So they brought like every Titan they could get their hands on. Someone even had I can't remember the name of the one that's like 3 or 4 feet tall. That was fun to watch for a little bit. And then it just so many dice rolls. Took so long. There's just someone turning up late and then outflanking their whole fresh army on turn 4. Oh man. Yeah, I could see how that would be annoying. The Warhound lived though, and I stopped all his Necrons. Well, that's always a positive. Alright.